and welcome yet to another installment of the Autonomist Lounge. Have a seat at the bar, folks. I got a confession to make, but before I move on, let me just get into a couple of definitions. I will not be talking specifically about the brocialist or the Mactivist. And what? What's that you say? What are those two kind of guys? You know what? I think I got ahead of myself. You see, there are three types of characters you'll find in the activist community. Now, they are not the majority of males, particularly amongst radicals and activists, but they are there. You have the brocialist, who is basically the Mactivist, but he is of a specific ideology, and of course that ideology being Marxism or socialism. Then you have the Mactivist, who's basically just in activism to pick up women. And that's pretty much all he does is run game. No different from the pickup artist, who usually is of more to the right-wing variety, so-called libertarian or what have you, or just simply a fucking Republican neoconservative douchebag. Oh yes, and they can also be liberals too. All right. But let's get on with my confession as a Manarchist, because Manarchists are not necessarily pickup artists who happen to be anarchists or libertarian socialists, but they could simply be in the politics because of the adventurism. My political theater brings all the girls who are insecure with self-hating daddy's issues to the yard. When I was in my early 20s, just newly freed from the strict confines of the Marxist-Leninist party that I was in, and a few years away from me meeting my wife, I had a lot of anger and angst that came with my newfound cynicism and embracement of lifestyle anarchism. 'Twas a brief period of douchery, where on one end I was talking about smashing the state, and on the other end, I was talking about how fucked up leftists were and how I hated feminists. Oh yeah, that was me. I talked so much about what I was against, you really couldn't find what I was for underneath all that posturing bullshit. Showing up at demos now with ski mask on or a bandana around my face, and a pocket full of rocks, and waiting to fight a skinhead or a cop, I had no idea that this form of politics was as bourgeois and anti-working class as well, this fucking agent of social injustice. Or this one, or this one. Now, I felt a little more on a righteous center, as delusional as that was, because the particular clique I was running with at the time were mostly people of color and women. But the smashing of a McDonald's storefront was all sadly disconnected from the very people we said who were oppressed and who we supposedly advocated for. Now, there were a few guys around who made up the majority of what we now call Manarchists. They may have been a degree worse than me in some ways, mainly trying to run game on women, but for the most part, playing Street Fighting Man in a demo where only 30 people had attended and doing shit that did not hold majority support, especially when there was no consensus beforehand. I was pretty much in that category. The good news is that it didn't take long after this phase to realize that smashing windows meant someone like me, who actually had to work for a living, would be the one who had to clean up the broken glass. And when I saw the white dudes that were Manarchists heading off to class the next day to gloat and flirt, when I had to go to work the next day, I realized it was time to pull my head out of my Manarchist ass and get on the road to recovery. This is the Garage Autonomist.
Hey, you look familiar. Were you at that riot? Were you in Oaxaca? Were you in Seattle? Were you in Egypt? Were you at the No Borders camp? Were you in New Orleans? Were you in Earthburst? Were you in Greece? Were you in Chiapas? Were you at the RNC? Were you on that European tour? I know that he sexually assaulted someone, but he does really good work.
Oh, that's just some relationship drama. I'm not taking sides.
Who cares if I set the dumpster on fire in front of the nursing home? Who are you, the safety police?
I'm busy. I'm grassroots organizing right now. I'm on a conference call.
What are you talking about? I wasn't cheating. I thought we were poly.
She has a baby? What about overpopulation, yo?
Dude, the feminist caucus is meeting at radio. We should go. There'd be a lot of babes.
Consensus is so identity politics.
What? Decolonize? Don't you mean occupy? God, you're so divisive.
I moved here from Iowa to create anti-authoritarian community.
Yeah, I went to Oberlin, but all that class privilege stuff, that's behind me, you know? I'm siding with the proletariat now.
All right, everybody. So we get the dumpster, right? Pull that shit in the street. You light that shit on fire. You get the fuck out of there! Dude, I'm bored.
You wanna go to AK Press?
Dude, let's go to Occupy.
You wanna get arrested?
Dude, let's go to radio.
You wanna go to Eli's? Oh, we here?
Hey, hola, baby. Justicia. Hey, nice bike. Is that a Bianchi?
My last partner didn't shave her legs. I really supported her. With your hair pulled back like that, you look exactly like Frida Kahlo. I'd be honored to sleep with you tonight.
It's cool. I get it if you don't want to hook up. I mean, I've done a lot of work to liberate my body from the confines of oppression and stuff, but if you're still working on it.
The organizing work that you're doing, I just think it's, it's really important. I think it's really great.
I'm not queer, but my last few partners have been queer. I really love queer women. Oh, right. And then, so this RCP guy was there, and I was like, I don't want your stupid paper, faggot!
I've been doing a lot of feminist work lately.
Lived in Oakland for 4 years. Well, I lived in SF for 2 of those, but I was in Oakland a lot.
Man, you want to spend all day processing and talking about power dynamics when we're in the middle of a revolution. You gotta take to the streets. Hey, do you have any PBR? Hey, you got any ramen?
What's his name? Oh, hold on, man. You take the battery out of your phone? Hold on. My dog's name is Bakunin. Dude, Tupac is so cool.
Man, the Black Panthers, so cool.
Dead Prez is so cool.
It's racism and sexism are just a byproduct of capitalism. So, if you just focus on capitalism, it'll take care of the rest of that shit for you. You just constantly bring up all these other issues.
She's always talking about race. It's so COINTELPRO. She's always pointing out sexism. It's so COINTELPRO.
Did you see that shit Manarchist say video? Totally COINTELPRO.